Welcome back to the Means Report. We appreciate you staying with us. Thank you to Will and Elizabeth for enlightening us about all that Christ Community Health Services does for us. And we're sort of staying in the healthcare vein for sure, but with the intent, this segment, of honoring our veterans. As I mentioned, the first time this edition of the Means Report is going to air is Memorial Day, and so we thought it would be wise to focus on those men and women. There are so many of them out there, past and present, who have helped our country be what it is. And that includes our next guest. He is Reverend Curtis Andrews. He is the chaplain at the Charlie Norwood Veterans Medical Center and the associate pastor of Butler Creek AME Church in Augusta. Reverend Andrews, thank you for what you do for our veterans, and thank you for being here today on Memorial Day weekend.
No problem, sir.
I appreciate
you having me here.
Yeah, it's my pleasure. I'm glad you're here. So the internet tells me you're a spiritual care provider for the folks at the VA. What does that mean? You know what the doctors and nurses do. What do you do?
So as a chaplain, my job is to provide emotionally and spiritually for veterans, I would say, in addition to staff and veterans' families, which more or less looks like me being present for that person wherever they find themselves in life. Because we don't always stay on top of life all the time. And sometimes we all need somebody who's going to sit with us and be with us wherever we find ourselves. My job is to be with that veteran, give them a safe space, and give them a non-judgmental presence so that they can be who they need to be. And if they're not where they need to be, I help provide that avenue, give them that guidance so that they can walk to where they need to, crawl where they need to, or sometimes run where they need to.
Is there ever a time when you go into that room and there's resistance because they say, oh, here's a preacher coming to preach to me, and then you say, wait a minute, not only am I still in the Army Reserves, but I was active Army before that. I'm like you. And then you're able to make that connection. Does that happen?
Yeah, there have been several times that has happened. Earlier in my career,
sure.
I've had a veteran, tell me to get out of his room.
I bet.
Yeah, but the one thing I'm persistent about is to be there for that veteran. Even if you tell me to get out, I will still see you and speak to you, because my job is to check on you, regardless if you want me to check on you or not. And later on, that veteran did come back to me and say, Chap, thank you very much for being there for me, because he realized that I wasn't there trying to convert him or to do anything with him from my spiritual vantage point, but just to be there for him.
Yeah, that was one of my questions. If you walk out of the room and this person, say, is a non-Christian and you haven't managed to get them to ask Christ into their life, is that a failure on your end, or is that not really the overall reason why you're there?
The overall and overarching goal of a chaplain is not to convert. Our overarching goal is to be there for that veteran. So it's being there with them, sitting there with them. Doesn't matter if they believe or not. The intent sometimes in the back of our minds is that something that we would do would strike a chord in that veteran's minds to ask us, what do you do? That opens the door for us.
Yeah.
But the overarching goal is never to try to convert them.
What do they say to you? What do they need from you? Is it all military based, or is it sometimes just basic human needs?
Basic human needs. Men and women will need basic human support, and it goes way beyond our military service. And knowing that I'm able to sit with them, talk with them, have a regular conversation like a man and woman have, and let them know, you know what, your chap is here for you. Sometimes it means we talk a lot of military trash or just trash in general.
Sure.
Have a conversation. Let me know what Johnny's doing in school. Let me know what Sally's doing over here. So just have that conversation.
What about, and I know veterans are on our minds all the time, but especially this weekend, what do they need from us? If we approach a veteran, do they get sick of hearing people say thank you for your service? Can we ask them about their time in the military? Is that fair game?
It depends. Now, Brad, many of us, because we get to say, people tell us all the time, thank you for your service, thank you for your service. Sometimes we think our cup is full and running over where that is concerned.
Right.
But still, it's good to know that our community is thinking about us when they say thank you for your service. It's good to know that people who we might not see on a regular basis is thinking about what we're doing for our nation.
What about the transition from military life to civilian life? What kind of challenges do the men and women that you work with face, and how can we help facilitate that transition, make them feel welcome?
Transition for anyone is difficult.
It is.
Many of the men and women who transition, they go through phases where they might have regrets about transitioning, and they have sometimes some mental breakdowns because of transitioning. Mm-hmm. How we can support them during those times is just be there for them. Give them that space so that they know even if the transition looked like a rough landing, we're here to support them.
This may be out of your area of expertise, but does the VA have a good relationship with, employers, schools in the area, places where they're ready to receive the veterans, help them in that transition, and then get them off to a good start in civilian life? Can y'all reach out to those resources?
So for the VA itself, we do have several programs and community partners that we can connect with and help a veteran who is having some difficulty with transition. We have programs to help them, but many times veterans who don't know think there's not a program there, but there are there. They just need to talk to their primary care provider, talk to a provider, and the provider can guide them to where they need to go.
Is there a situation where a veteran will come to you for medical treatment and get better and no longer need your services? Or do you find, especially with our older vets, that they're going to be at the VA for the long haul and you're going to be dealing with them and helping them for years?
So because the VA not only provides for veterans in crisis, we provide primary care health support. You will see veterans on a long-term basis. They'll be there and they will be getting support regardless of if it's on an annual basis or to help them with crisis.
Let's talk about Memorial Day. What does it mean to you? What should we know, and when I say we, I mean civilians, about Memorial Day?
So for any of us who served, we standing on the shoulders of heroes, mm-hmm. those who served before us, those who were there and have made that way and that passage for us to even walk. Memorial Day helps us to honor these men and women by paying tribute to them, by being out, going to their gravesites, by laying wreaths for them, by offering prayers for them, by being supportive to their families who were left behind to carry on their legacy. So it gives us a chance as veterans to give back to our community and those who served before us.
What does it mean to a family if they see somebody honoring their lost loved one? I know it's a pain that probably never goes away for them, but does it help when they see the community saying, hey, we recognize this day and we recognize what your person did?
Many families are appreciative of it and they've expressed their gratitude for folks being there, not just at the gravesite or just telling them we appreciate what your loved one did, but seeing the genuine support received from not just veterans, but from the community. It helps them know that they're not by themselves. Mm-hmm. They're not grieving by themselves. And it also helps them know that there are other veterans or other family members who are also suffering grief.
Is it okay to say Happy Memorial Day, or should we stay away from that?
Saying happy, a lot of folks aren't there yet, Brad.
Right.
So
I sometimes bristle when I hear it, and I'll tell people, younger people especially, hey, no, don't say happy. Just say, say something else. Don't say, you can say Happy Veterans Day, yes, but maybe avoid it on Memorial Day?
Yes, on Memorial Day, I would avoid saying Happy Memorial Day because it's a day we pay tribute. It's more or less like a memorial service, which at our VA we do twice a year. We offer a memorial service for veterans and staff member who passed away. We do that twice a year at our veteran medical center.
Probably my last question. Overall, how do you feel about the state of our military today when it comes to interest in serving? You answered the call many years ago. Are enough young men and women doing the same thing today, or do we need more folks?
Well, I think our military always can use folks who are willing to serve.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if I am if I'm at that place where I can intentionally say that, but from my vantage point, what I see, we have folks who are still answering that call to serve, to service. And we are still working there to train them to help make them better service members so that they can continue to do what I love to do.
Yeah, I remember when I was growing up, my dad said, hey, I'll give you $1,000 if you join the Navy. and just go do a couple of years of service and then move on to whatever you want to in life. And at that time, I thought $1,000 was like $1 million. I didn't take him up on it, but that was his way of encouraging, the next generation to step up, just like you did, Reverend. And I just wanted to say thank you, not only on this weekend, but year round, obviously, for what you and the folks at the VA do for us. I appreciate you.
Appreciate you, Brad. Thank you very much for having me.
You mentioned Chap. Do people call you Chap or Chappie?
Chap, Chappie, Chaplain, Rev, the titles go on and on and on.
I love it. I love it. Well, I appreciate you so much and look forward to talking to you again soon.
Thank you very much for having me.
Absolutely. Reverend Curtis Andrews, our special guest today, and all our veterans, thank you, and all your loved ones who aren't with us, we honor them. When we come back, how you can stay in touch with us here at the Means Report.